party prince.
He was photographed incessantly, falling out of one nightclub after another.
Who rebelled against royalty.
He decided he might leave the royal family.
Haunted by his mother's death,
it destabilized him and caused chaos for years.
He struggled to find his way.
Being royal for Harry was a burden and a curse.
She's a former American actress.
I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to up my game.
Unlike any royal bride before.
Go back a few generations, and everything about Meghan Markle disqualifies her from marrying Harry.
A modern royal couple who are changing history.
The couple plan to divide their time between the UK and North America.
Redefining royalty.
Queen Elizabeth supports Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's decision to step back from royal life.
Tonight, a CNN special report, Royal Revolution, Harry and Meghan.
I'd never even heard about her until this friend said Meghan Markle. I was like, right, okay, give me a bit of background.
It is July 2016 in London when Britain's most eligible bachelor, Prince Harry, is set up on a blind date.
It was definitely a setup. It was a blind date.
I was beautifully surprised when I walked into that room and saw her, and there she was sitting there. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to up my game.
Harry ups his game, and they begin a whirlwind romance. Just weeks later, they're vacationing together in Botswana, Africa.
We camped out with each other under the stars, and we spent co-enjoying for 5 days out there, which was absolutely fantastic.
In the months that follow, they date long distance, meeting up in London and Toronto, where Meghan, an actress, is filming her TV show Suits.
Wow, you're pretty.
Good. You hit on me. We can get it out of the way that I'm not interested.
The whole time, keeping their relationship a secret.
I mean, when they first met, nobody knew about it. I mean, they are such a charismatic couple.
Penny Junor wrote a biography about Harry.
They kept this relationship quiet.
Which is itself impressive.
It is impressive. I mean, the great fear about Harry finding a wife was always going to be the intrusion of the press, because that is what had killed 2 previous long-term relationships.
Relationships with actress Cressida Bonis and his first love, Chelsea Davy.
Chelsea had experienced the most horrible treatment. The photographers had been waiting for her. They would call out names, slag, bitch, whore, trying to get a reaction from her. And I guess that she looked at all of this and thought, do I want this for my life?
And I interviewed Harry just before he met Meghan, the month before, and we talked about, his private life at the time.
Harry tells Roy Anika, the royal correspondent for Britain's Sunday Times, about a, quote, massive paranoia he feels in finding a girlfriend.
I think Harry's great fear was that unless he had enough time to get to know someone, if that relationship prematurely became public, they would be absolutely swamped with media interest, and that would change the dynamic of his relationship.
And what happened to his mother is never far from his mind.
Harry and his brother still feel that the paparazzi and press intrusion were certainly partly responsible for his mother's death, and thought, why would anyone want to put up with this for me?
Harry wants to keep his relationship with Meghan private as long as he can. But just 4 months after that first date, the news is out, and the paparazzi counts once again.
I mean, there was a photographer who got inside Meghan's house in Toronto. The paparazzi were camping on her mother's front lawn and following, and harassing all members of her family, anybody really who knew her.
Despite starring in a TV show, Meghan is relatively unknown. Now the British press wants to know who she is and if she's fit for the royal family.
She was a woman who had been married. People were fascinated by the fact that she was divorced. People were fascinated by her background, her acting, a career woman. How would that work, being with someone in the royal family? That's not what we've seen before.
They also have not seen someone biracial dating a member of the royal family. And some of the conversation is blatantly racist.
There was one newspaper headline saying straight out of Compton, suggesting that she was from a gang-ridden neighborhood.
Afua Hirsch is a journalist and recently wrote a book about race, identity, and belonging in Britain.
And would Harry be dropping around for tea in gangland, which was very clearly racially loaded.
A whole other issue exploded, which was the number of rather horrific social media racist comments began to flood in from the darkest, vilest corners of the internet.
The royal family responds in unprecedented fashion, with Prince Harry's team releasing a statement confronting the, quote, abuse and harassment Meghan is facing.
Very unusual for a statement to come out.
No one understands this better than Dickie Arbiter. He was press secretary at the palace for 12 years.
He made the point, this is not a game. It's not a game, it's people's lives. And he was very angry, and it was a sort of back-off reminder to what they did to his mother.
Why is it that you think that Meghan's upbringing, her race, why did that garner so much attention?
In the past, members of the royal family, princes, would have married princesses. And when Harry's father, Prince Charles, was looking for a wife, it was also a requirement that a wife should be a virgin and a member of the Church of England.
You just go back a few generations in the royal family, and everything that you can say about Meghan Markle disqualifies her from marrying Harry.
Kate Coyne is the executive editor of People magazine.
This is precisely why you had Edward abdicating his throne so that he could marry an American divorcee. Elizabeth's sister Margaret was in love with a divorced man and was not allowed to marry him.
Wasn't Charles and Diana's wedding and marriage a wake-up call in some ways for the monarchy, that you can try to have somebody perfect, but it has to be chemistry and you have to let the person have the freedom to marry who they want?
No, well, I think it was a lesson that they learned.
Harry is desperate for history not to repeat itself, and he's anxious to protect Meghan.
Harry's statement was the most romantic thing a member of the royal family has ever done. And I think engagement watch was on from that moment. It was, let's wait for the ring.
The ring comes in November 2017.
Prince Harry has announced his wedding engagement to American actress Meghan Markle.
And the royal family welcomes Meghan with open arms.
The Queen made an exception and broke from royal protocol and invited Meghan to spend Christmas with the royal family and the Queen at Sandringham. That was the first time a royal fiancé has ever done that before actually marrying into the royal family.
A powerful sign the monarchy and the Queen are modernizing and changing.
The royal family now is trying to at least be much more reflective of society, and the Queen, first and foremost, wants her grandson to be happy.
And that happiness is something Harry has been searching for most of his life. When we come back, the moment that changes everything.
He didn't really deal with what life without her meant. It destabilized him and caused chaos for years.